Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress with number 3 in the series Endgames. A few viewers have asked me to show one of my games which I did not want to do. I have so much material of players who are a lot stronger and a lot more exciting than I am, so I didn't really want to do it. But I played a game recently and I thought that might be instructive for the Chess to Progress channel. The instructive bit is that it shows that if you want to achieve a draw, swapping everything off does not always give you that desired result. Let's have a look at a recent game I played. I was white in this game and my opponent's name was Colin. d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, knight f6. I played the exchange variation here of the Queen's Gambit. C takes, E takes, bishop g5, knight bd7, and now it looks for a moment you can win a pawn, but you can't. It looks like you can take on d5 because the knight on f6 is pinned, but that knight takes anyway on d5, and if you then take the queen, then there is bishop b4 check, and the only move that White has is to put his own queen on d2, which gets taken, and black comes out of this with a much better position. So I did not fall into that trap. I played e3, c6, bishop d3 developing, bishop e7, queen c2, castling, knight f3, rook e8, I castled, knight f8 from Colin, and I played rook a b1 with the idea of the famous minority attack. I want to push my b and my a pawns and create a weakness in black's camp. Knight h5, bishops were swapped, and there comes b4. And after a6, a4. Bishop e6 from black, rook fc1, rook ec8, and there comes b5 as planned. A takes, and of course black can take on b5, but then he gets a very weak pawn on b7, so Colin pushed c5. I took, rook takes, knight d4, nice square there for the knight, rook ac8, and now I played queen b2, unpinning the knight. Knight f6, that knight on h5 was not doing anything, so Colin brings it back to the center. Knight a4, and all rooks were swapped, and Colin played queen d6. I played queen c5, and also the queens were swapped. So we are in an endgame. White is slightly better, his pieces are more active than black's. The b7 pawn is hanging, so Colin played bishop c8, and here I thought for a long time. It's quite complicated. I thought of knight f5, I thought of bishop f5, I thought of king f1. In the end, there was a little bit of psychology involved. I saw that so far in this game, Colin has swapped every piece that he could swap. I thought maybe he would be happy with the draw in this game, so I saw that after bishop f5, taking on f5 is not the best option, and I was hoping that Colin would do that. Just to show you another variation, if I had played knight f5, which I looked at, then taking on f5 is actually the best move. Bishop takes back, b6 to save the pawn, knight a4, and then knight 6 to d7. Black is playing that knight because the other knight wants to go to e6. White is still a little bit better here, but it should be holdable for black. So I went for the other option, bishop f5, hoping that Colin would swap, and he did. And now we have a knight endgame, but with good winning chances for white. Again, b6 has to be played to save the pawn. And now I can, with knight e7 check, make sure black's king goes the wrong way. King h8 is the only move, and that is not where that king wants to be. So I hoped that this would be a good endgame for me. I should have played knight d3 here according to the engine, but I went knight a6. Knight e6, and now I'm activating my king. Black can still not do the same thing, so I was quite hopeful here that with the king in the center I would have a serious advantage. But it's not so clear. I was also hoping that I could play on the principle of two weaknesses. If one player has two weaknesses, it often is very difficult to defend both weaknesses, and the pawns on d5 and b6 are weaknesses for black. But what I had underestimated is that now black can solve one of his weaknesses with d4. King e2, take, and g6, which is the only way to activate the king. I was not so worried about knight g4 check. I was planning king e4, and then if black takes on f2, I have king d5, and I was hoping, or I judged this position as good for me, that I would be able to win the b6 pawn, and then my pawn would be a lot stronger than black's extra pawn on the king side, also because his king is still stuck in a corner. So g6 played by Colin. I activate my king further, king d3, king g7, king c4, and king f8. Now my knight has to play, so knight c8 attacking the pawn, knight d7 defending the pawn. And now it's important that I don't go pawn hunting straight away. King d5, king e8, and then king c6 would be a very bad mistake because of knight d4 check. I'm losing the pawn on b5 and not winning the pawn on b6. The king has to go back to d5, and then knight takes b5, and black is better. So I played knight b4, rerouting the knight, knight c7, and knight d5. If Colin would have taken this knight, then the king comes in. Let's look at the variation. King e8, king c6, king d8, and knight takes b6, and now white has a winning endgame. So Colin saw that he could not swap the knights here, and he played knight a8. And if you have to play a move like that, then you know something went wrong. The knight in the corner is, of course, one of the worst pieces ever. It only looks at two possible squares, and in this case, the knight on d5 is dominating that knight on a8. King d4, king e8, knight d6 check. Now the king cannot go to d8 because of knight takes f7. So the king had to go back. I played f4, f5, knight c4, king f7, and knight e5 check. Colin swapped that knight, but after king takes e5, he resigned. Black's king cannot go to e7, so there's no way to stop the white king finally infiltrating in black's position. The king will go to d6, c6, and then the knight will take on b6 with an easily winning endgame. So why did I show you this game? I think it was instructive that Colin swapped a lot of pieces, swapped everything that was in sight, and sometimes that is indeed a way to simplify the position and get closer to a draw, But you have to be careful. It's not about what is being swapped off, it is about what is remaining on the board. And in this case, white's remaining pieces were more active than black's. His king was cut off, and that's how white was able to improve his position and finally reach a winning position. So be careful with swapping off pieces. It's not always the best option. Hope you enjoyed this game, found it instructive. It's not the same level as these top grandmasters that I normally show games of, but I still thought it was an interesting game with an instructive element to it. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Progress channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. You also may want to check out my other channel, Chess to Impress. There's a lot of material there that may be of interest to you. I want to thank you for watching. This is Rick from Chess to Progress.